What's going on, YouTube? Let's have another talk about this bullshit. So check this out. Trump released a video, or should I say he made a speech about, 6 years ago when he was running for president. And he said, these countries are not sending us their best. They're sending us rapists, criminals, convicts. How ironic is that now Trump is an adjudged rapist? That means he's been found guilty of rape. Let's keep it real. He was found guilty of rape. He only avoided time because the statute of limitations had expired. But all in all, the president is a rapist. The president is a convicted felon. The former president is a felon. He can't even own a passport. How the hell you gonna go to another country and attend a summit or go visit one of our allies that needs support from us? Dude, listen, stop blaming everybody else for what you did. Nobody else got to spend that money. You got to spend it. Your family got to spend it. All these people running around here screaming Trump is innocent, Trump is innocent. Let me tell you something. Y'all sound stupid. Because had y'all done any of the things that he's accused of or been found guilty of, you'd be sitting in the bottom of a jail cell right now. But for those of us who have led a clean life and have not caught felonies and been charged with rape or pissed off half the fucking world, it's 37 countries that man can't go to because they don't allow felons inside their country. He can't even go to the UK because they don't allow convicted felons. There are several countries that have barred him specifically from entering their country. We're talking about South Korea. We're talking about Ireland. These countries have specifically said they do not want him to visit ever again because when he went there, he was such a bad show. Now, America has been known for having great delegates and great ambassadors, and we send our best abroad. That's what he was accusing foreigners of not doing, sending their worst. His exact words. They're sending their criminals, their rapists. Well, you would kind of make a monkey out of us, sir, if we elect you president and then we can't even send you nowhere. You can't even go see our allies. Not only if you weren't a convicted felon, they still don't want you in the country. These are 37 37 countries that don't allow felons to travel to their country from another country. But we talking about countries that have barred you specifically by name. They don't want you there. They don't want to see you. They don't want to smell you. Bro, you know how notorious you got to be? I will say this much for Trump, though. He is a success in one aspect. Dude, you're the most successful mob boss there ever was. You outrank John Gotti. You outrank Lucky Luciano in my book. You outrank Al Capone. And we can think of many more because you are the most successful criminal gangster of all time. I mean, man, I know drug dealers is serving time in prison, ain't never getting out, and they ain't get convicted on 34 felonies. So what is you talking about, bro? You sound stupid when you start talking about, it wasn't fair. Man, what's fair is that you've been allowed to run around and do this. You're a menace at this point, dude. You know better than some of the people you talk about. You shit on. You know better than them. It's just ridiculous, the hypocrisy. Like, y'all really need to get y'all shit together because, man, y'all look so bad. And Trump says the world is laughing at us. No, motherfucker, let me be clear about this shit. They ain't laughing at us. They laughing at you. There's film footage of them telling jokes and laughing about how stupid and out of place you look. on the world stage. If any reason they laughing at America is because we keep entertaining your clown ass. You should have been in a prison a long time ago. And those people who run around screaming your name, acting like you God's gift to the world, let me tell you something. Man, on everything. I promise you I wouldn't let no convicted goddamn felon represent me. You can hear me in the hood every day saying, nah, don't free that nigga. He shot several people. I really don't want him free. I got a daughter walking out here. I got friends and family walking out here. Listen, if you're violent, you need to be locked up somewhere. If you can't behave and live by normal standards, I'm looking at my beard in the camera and I see his hey man, I put in 10 hours at work and came home and did another 2 hours here, and now I'm shooting this video, so give me a pass. But anyway, yeah man, listen, none of this makes sense. None of it. Because a real man would admit that he went ahead, that he did something wrong in the first place. Just recently, within the last couple of days, you said, it wasn't me that said lock her up. That was the crowd, I guess. Dude, you're so transparent. And that's why I don't understand why his supporters don't lean in more on this, because it's so easy to see. It's see-through. Y'all giving him passes. Nobody gets a pass in the hood that much, man. I'm telling you. If we tell you don't drive down this street one time, that was your pass. You come back, bro, anything, open season is open game. Everybody knows that's just how it is. If you've been told by the police, don't return to a spot, and you return to that spot, it's open season. Am I right? They got a right to lock you up. You trespassing again. They already criminally trespassed you, gave you a verbal warning, sent you on your way, you came back. So guess what? I think what most people have a problem with, and when I say most people, I believe most Republicans that are Trump supporters have a problem with, is not necessarily admitting that Trump is wrong. I think they have a problem with admitting that they made a mistake. It's cool to believe something and then find out that you were wrong. There's no fault in that. To err is to be human. Have we not heard that? To err is to be human. We make mistakes every day. So to say, hey, look, I thought one thing and I found out it's not that, that's human. But you live with that and you gain your experience from that and your knowledge from that, so you don't make the same mistake over and again. But Trump supporters are not doing that, man. They're not doing that at all. They're giving pass after pass after pass after pass after pass. And I don't want to be associated with a criminal. Dude, if you gone up the road for, armed robbery, something like that, listen, that was your choice as a man. You did that. You went up the road. But now, I really don't want to be kicking it with you, because the dude that you robbed at gunpoint, you ain't kill him. You just robbed him and took his stuff. You made an enemy for life. So, me hanging out with you might bring your heat to me. I don't want people looking at me and being like, oh yeah, that's the robbing crew. Dude, I don't rob. I work. My parents taught me better. I don't rob. My parents taught me better. I don't steal. I don't beg. I don't borrow, and I don't rob. I'm a man. I go out and work for mine. I hustle for mine. I get it. How I live. That's on everything. I ain't got to take from nobody. And I ain't out here trying to swindle nobody. That man is a goddamn con artist. But he been doing this since back in the day. Him and his dad were con artists and racist swindlers. That is documented. So I don't understand how he keep getting so many passes. I just don't. I don't understand how he gets so many passes. So many people are willing to overlook this man's obvious flaws. I mean, not even just, hey, look, I'm ugly. That's a flaw of mine. My teeth are crooked. That's a flaw of mine. I got my teeth, but my teeth are crooked. That's a flaw of mine if you want to look at it like that. Those are flaws. But to just be a repeat criminal all your life, dude, that's not a flaw. That's a defect. That's a pure defect in your morality and in your character. And Trump shows that he has no morality and no character. Go find the video where the man asked him, I'd like to know what your favorite Bible verse is. And Trump says, I don't want to get into that because it's quite personal. If you're a real Christian, then you understand your job as a Christian is to testify. It ain't personal to tell what God has done for you in your life and what difference God has made for you in your life. Your job as a real Christian is to go out and testify. But he's not doing that because he can't testify. He don't recognize God. He thinks he's God. And y'all reinforce that shit, and that's sad because the book tells you, thou shalt not bow down before any false gods, have none before me, put no God before me. Y'all have clearly stripped away the morality of all of that. Clearly. You've turned him into a god. And that's cool. I mean, do what you do. Understand there's repercussions for everything. I mean, it really is. There's repercussions for everything. You don't answer to man's law, you'll eventually answer to God's law. What's going on, folks? How y'all feeling? I hear you, man. Me too, man. Hey, ain't we all? Really?
We took her home.
How about?
Talk to us, we talk to the dog.
So my neighbors, I like to speak to my neighbors. I like to be sociable when I can, Anyway, back on topic. Yeah, so this man said that they're sending their criminals, their rapists, their convicts, and now you got to make the United States guilty of the same shit. Honestly, if you really gave a damn about this country, Trump, you would drop out the race. And nobody's saying that you should drop out permanently. I'm not saying that. I mean, I feel like you definitely, if they're willing to put you up there, you have a right to vote. But look, let me run it to you like this. I got a homeboy who got fired from a job, went to another job, filled out the application. When they asked him about his felony conviction, he said, listen, it's about to get overturned. I'm just waiting to go back to court or whatever. And specifically what they told my homeboy was, when you get all that cleared up, come on back and we hire and we'll get you a position. Fair enough to me. Fair enough to me. That sounds fair enough. Clean all that shit up. Don't bring it in our house. Kick the dirt off your shoe before you come in. I get that. Same thing goes for Trump. We know you're going to try to, get the convictions overturned. You got the Supreme Court on your team, so that shouldn't be too hard. They are openly, just pro. I don't know what they are. They are just pro-Trump all the way. 6 of the 9 justices are just compromised morally and fucking from a job standpoint, if you ask me. This is why Democrats are pushing so hard to have term limits on Supreme Court justices. I personally think it's a bad idea. It worked fine having Supreme Court justices with morality and character. But now that we got these assholes on the Supreme Court, man, the court looks like a joke. So we can't even keep them. We need to start thinking about the future, long-term, longevity, and set some term limits. So if by chance we get one of these traitorous judges on the stand, we can get them out before they have a chance to do too much damage. It seems like now I think the youngest judge on the Supreme Court might be Ketanji Jackson. I think it actually might be Kavanaugh. I'm not sure. But a Supreme Court justice is appointed for lifetime, which means Trump, it shouldn't take you too long to get this mess cleared up and then come on back, fill out the application. And if we're hiring, we'll find you a position. But why I suspect that won't happen is because, like most things, out of sight, out of mind. You disappear for 4 more years, your base is going to wither away. I promise you there's going to be another Republican candidate that comes along that they'll get excited about. Hell, I might get excited about a new Republican candidate. I don't like Trump. He's a misogynistic. He makes men look bad. He makes white people look bad. He makes rich people look bad. He makes Americans look bad. He makes humans look bad. He makes the planet Earth look bad. It's just, I mean, it's just bad all the way around with him. There's no good points with him. There's no good points with him. And all I can think is, for each one of his voters, the reason you vote for him is because you see a little bit of yourself in him. Prove me wrong. There is no way I would let a man who's been convicted of child molestation represent me. I sure as hell wouldn't hire him to work in my job. I wouldn't let him be president of my company. I wouldn't trust him to make the right decisions. I wouldn't make... You're talking about unprecedented. We never had a convicted felon for a president. Try that for precedents. There's your precedents. We've never had a cult leader. And I said it, a cult leader. Trump is a cult leader. We've never had a cult leader as president. With some of the most popular presidents we've had, they weren't considered cult leaders. JFK is not considered a cult leader. Are you kidding me? He's not considered a cult leader. Nobody ever accused Abraham Lincoln of being a cult leader. Maybe those people on the loser side of the Civil War. But even then, listen, when you just weigh out basic right and wrong, if you're on the side of wrong, stop expecting everybody to cross over to your side and be wrong with you. What is wrong with your thinking? That you expect everybody else to do what you do just because that's what you want. I don't know no situation where that works. I just don't. Even if you're the boss of your own company, you still got to answer to somebody. You got to answer to the IRS. You got to answer to state government, federal government, insurance companies. Man, come on, keep it real. I mean, just seriously, let's weigh it all out, man. This man is not fit for office. He should not be representing good, clean Americans. And that's not to say that anybody with a felony is not a clean American. I personally feel if you did the crime and you were man enough or woman enough to do the time and you were released, man, you're entitled to live your life. That's how I personally feel. No felonies. I own my own business. I wish I was in a position to hire somebody. The first person I'd be looking to hire is a felon. Somebody who's going to be grateful to have a job, going to show up every day on time, and will listen when I tell them, hey, instead of 27 cents an hour, motherfucker, I'm going to pay you $20 an hour. You need some time off, some personal time off, I work with you. I do what I can to give you some time off, you know. It's just not so hard to be on the side of right. It's not. Why would you want to go against the grain just to seem like a rebel, an outlaw? We all know, hey, the gangsters don't live that long, man. Let's keep it real. You know, old gangsters out there. Ain't no old dope dealers out there. Most of the dope dealers I know locked the fuck up or dead. I'm from the ATL. Most of them locked up or dead. These I went to high school with, middle school with, selling dope on the street with. Let me tell you something. Most of them dead. Fuck being locked up. Most of them went in and out of prison until they got back out on the street and were dead. So, you know, when Republicans talk about, oh, well, people shouldn't be allowed to work from home because there's a shortage of workers in the force. There's plenty of people went to prison and are just waiting on somebody to give them a chance to re-enter society with dignity. Ain't no shortage of workers. You just won't hire convicted felons. But now you want to push a convicted felon into the White House. Imagine that. Imagine the hypocrisy. The asininity. Is that a word? The asinine thinking behind that. For years, you have spent telling your friends, your family, your children, other people's children, go to school, get an education, do things right, live the American dream the best you can, keep your nose clean, don't catch a felony that will fuck your life up forever. And now, all of a sudden, because Donald J. Trump caught a felony, none of that applies? Bitch, say it in my face, because my mama taught me right. And if you tell me none of that applies, then you telling me what my mama told me was wrong, and you lying on my mama. Say it to my face. I'll choke one of you fuck niggas the fuck out. I'm serious. I'm not even playing. On 30s. Take it how you will. Listen, you may not like it, but that man is a convicted felon 34 times. He still got 3 more cases ahead of him. That number is going to increase. Save your tears for when you really going to need them, because he guilty in all of these shits. Don't start crying now. Wait a little bit. He still got 3 more cases. They carry jail time behind him. Wait. Save your tears for when you really gonna need them, because he's guilty in all of these cases. Guilty. And it is what it is. I'm sure you know somebody in your family who did a crime, had to do the time, came on home, and now they're doing the best they can. Well, listen, it should be no different for him. If you can get the felony convictions overturned, good luck to you, bro. But I don't even think they should do it, because I know plenty of people in jail for dumb shit. Prison for dumb shit. Ain't coming home for years. You facing serious charges. We ain't talking about got caught with a brick of cocaine. We ain't talking about, ran from the police, went on a high speed. And we ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about, dude, you're convicted. You're a rapist. You know what they do to rapists in prison? You're a rapist, dude. When they see your paperwork in jail and they read off all them lists of charges, the first one is going to say you were found guilty of rape by a judge. They ain't give you no time because the statute of limitations had expired. You're a woman abuser. You know what they do to women abusers in prison? Same thing they do with child molesters. Your only saving grace is that the woman you abused was a white woman. Because if it was a black woman, bruh. Listen, I'm not here to make you feel better. You should feel horrible about the shit you've done to this country. Horrible. The country was in a bad enough place as it was, and then you come along and make it worse. It wouldn't be hard to make America great again. They need to send your ass down for a year in prison. And when you come home after that year, and I only say a year, though you got so many felony convictions, man, this is ridiculous. I only say a year because I personally don't feel like it's a good look for the United States to have a former president in prison. I just don't. But I do think you deserve it. You deserve 1 year in prison, 2 years of probation, where you need to report to a probation officer, take a piss test every fucking month, show that you are actively looking for a job. I don't give a fuck if you're rich. You need to go through the same shit that everyday people on the street got to go through, everyday felons got to go through. And lastly, you should be forced to do some community service, because you out of touch. You're out of touch. You don't know what it's like to be an American these days. You don't know how hard it is for the average working American. So, let's get you acquainted. You need to be somewhere feeding the homeless. Those disgusting people that you don't want to look at. You need to be somewhere volunteering in a veteran shelter, a VA hospital, so you can see The brave women and men that go overseas and put their life on the line so you can sit back and eat Big Macs all fucking day, you fat fuck. You should be made to do community service in a woman's shelter so you can see the effects of what your behavior and the behavior of men like you does to our women. You're a piece of shit. You need to be put in front of a mirror and made to see it. The only way that'll happen is if we keep you out of the White House and make you face the consequences of what you've done. You don't get no more passes. You're out of passes. I'm done. Fuck it.